Hi guys, hope you're doing really great today. My name is Anastasia and welcome to my channel. Here we talk about recent trends, wellness events and things that can help you to be both happier and healthier. And today we have a wonderful book to discuss. I highly recommend you make a cup of tea because we're gonna talk about a Japanese book by Noriko Morishita called The Wisdom of Tea. Hello, this is me from editing. I just want to make a quick little note here. I forgot to check how to pronounce the name of the author in the right way, and turns out it's not Noriko, it's Noriko, which I suspected. But I'm gonna say Noriko as a dumb person till the rest of the podcast. So we listen and we don't judge. It's not a typical self-help book, which I really love. So the author tells her 25-year journey of learning tea, as well as her reflections on life and what the journey actually taught her. But before we start discussing this book, please don't forget to like this video and follow me here on YouTube not to miss any videos of mine and to support my channel. And of course, let's jump in. Well, the story begins when Noriko studies at university and she has 1 year left, but still is not sure what to do next. And Noriko is willing to start doing anything, just not to feel frustrated about finding something that she will truly love. And this is where her friend and cousin Michiko steps in. She says to Noriko that she wants to study tea and suggests to do it together. And in 1977, when Noriko was 20 years old, she decided to give it a try. And throughout the whole book, we can see how Noriko learns traditional rituals, how she discovers new utensils and techniques, how she tries to understand the tea and the process of making it. And what we already can learn from Noriko's journey is that she never gives up. For example, it takes her a lot of time to memorize all the steps. She repeatedly does mistakes and gets scolded for it. She is not very elegant when it comes to the process. She even calls herself clumsy in the book. But despite all the struggles, Noriko keeps coming to tea lessons every Saturday, which I really love. Because we often expect ourselves to be perfect at everything we do. We have high expectations about ourselves. We often expect fast results, completely forgetting about enjoying the process. In order to succeed in something, first of all, we must be open to learning. We must accept the fact that we know nothing and let ourselves create a space for new knowledge. And secondly, we need to allow ourselves to be as we are, not perfect, and just keep practicing, keep going at our own pace and enjoy the journey, because there are no rules and limitations, only those that we set for ourselves here. The other thing that we can observe throughout Noriko's journey is that she quite often has doubts about going to tea lessons when the weather is bad or when she goes through some difficult times. And of course, there are moments when she actually misses the classes, but most of the time she overcomes herself and attends it. In one of the chapters, Noriko writes, "I knew if I turned up to my tea lesson, there was bound to be a moment when I would think, I'm so glad I came after all." So what the author learns here is that there is no such thing as a bad day. She says, if you can appreciate even the rain, every day becomes a good day. And I so love this concept because we get used to dividing things into good and bad, enjoying, appreciating the good, but hating the bad, forgetting that we would not be even able to enjoy the good without going through bad first. We can truly appreciate and experience life only when we have both. And finding the joy in each season and savoring it was one of the things that brought so much peace personally into my life. Plus, every season is teaching us something and consequently we grow. We carry those lessons into the future and make better decisions and choices. Accepting life as it is with its ups and downs, finding something beautiful in each season is a truly life-changing concept, and I was honestly so happy to see it in this book. Speaking about the seasons, there is a chapter called When It's Raining, Listen to the Rain, where Noriko went to a tea lesson on a rainy day and she describes the weather and her feelings and thoughts while observing the rain. And because it's such a detailed observation, you can actually feel like you're right there in that Japanese house at the tea lesson, just watching and listening to the rain together with Noriko. And this chapter perfectly translates one of the important messages of the book. It's to experience life with all 5 senses. We have so much noise in our lives: people, work, problems, overthinking, busy cities, social media. We always do something, we rush somewhere, we constantly achieve something. We are so distracted to notice how beautiful life is and how blessed we actually are. Every day we choose to live in our mind, disconnecting ourselves from nature, from people, from ourselves, which brings lots of stress in our life. And the only way to connect to yourself and the world around you, the only way to reduce the stress is to start living from your heart, using your 5 senses. Let me explain. For example, when you live from your mind, let's say you need to go to work. What an average person will do? You probably will wake up, you will take a shower, you will make yourself a cup of coffee, and then you will take this cup of coffee to your car, and while driving to work, you will drink this cup of coffee, and then you will actually work. But when you live from your heart, when you use your 5 senses, you can have the same morning but experience it in a different way. For example, you wake up and what you can do? You can go to your window and open it. Look at the colors of the morning sky. You can listen to tweeting birds. You can smell the fresh, a little bit cold air in the morning. And standing right next to the window, you can stretch for a second just to feel how your body wakes up. You can hug yourself to show some love and gratitude to your body. And then you go to take a shower and just pause for a second there, just listen to the sounds of water, feel the temperature with your body. When you make your cup of coffee, just listen to the sound of pouring water in the cup, and then take a moment and notice the smell. When you take your first sip, recognize the taste, because it feels like a blessing, especially in the morning. When you live from your heart, even in the same situation, you can get a completely different experience. For example, when I started walking, I remember I was doing it just to have some personal space, just to release some emotions, to listen to the music, to get some physical exercise. But with time, the more I was walking, the more I started to notice the fresh smell of plants on the farms. I started to notice this refreshing cold air in the morning, the beautiful golden color of the sun in the morning. I started to notice fruits, gorgeous birds in the area, flowers. I started to feel so happy during my walks. I would never even think in my entire life that simple walking can bring me so much peace, so much joy, can make me so present. To truly understand this lesson, you have to practice it first, of course. Just try as an experiment to do your regular things using your 5 senses. For example, when you have a meal, just remove all the distractions, remove all the gadgets for a minute, and take a second to notice the smell, and then take a moment to recognize the taste of the food. Or let's say you saw some beautiful tree or the building outside, just take a moment to touch its surface, to feel its texture. It's such an incredible practice, I swear, and it's changing your perception of life completely. And of course, using your 5 senses will help you to become so present, so mindful. And this is one more lesson that I would love to talk about today, because we can see throughout the whole book, in so many chapters, Noriko constantly reminds us through different situations to stay present. For example, Sensei, Noriko's tea teacher, always tells her to take care of what is in front of her, to focus on her feelings in the moment, to feel the process better. She always tells Noriko to stay present and to observe how others do the ceremony, because it's an important part of learning. Or for instance, when Noriko makes mistakes, Sensei tells her that she doesn't care about mistakes, but Noriko should not be careless. She has to pour her heart into each and every little moment. Or there was a moment when Noriko's father wanted to meet her, but Noriko was waiting for a friend at that moment, so they decided to meet at the family dinner later that week, but unfortunately Noriko's father passed away. And Noriko tells us to seize every opportunity. For example, when flowers bloom, we have to celebrate it. When joy comes into our life, we have to share it with others. If we love someone, we have to tell it to them. As I said, we can find this message throughout the whole book, because Noriko's character grows, it develops with each chapter, with each year of tea ceremony, and we can observe how Noriko becomes more mindful with time. She starts to notice the flowers in the garden, she notices taste, she starts to notice the changes in seasons, she starts to differentiate the sounds of water. As Noriko writes in the book, life means living in each and every moment with an eye to the future. I'm telling you, I was pleasantly surprised by this book, first of all because of the structure, because the book contains small chapters, which is easy to read, plus the language itself is not very difficult. I mean, it feels like, of course it's translation from Japanese, but it feels like your friend is telling you a story or something. Of course there are Japanese terms, but you can find them in the end of the book, so it's not that much confusing, plus you can see the pictures throughout the book of these Japanese utensils, which helps you to imagine the story much better, Secondly, I love that it's not a typical self-help book, as I said in the beginning, I already reviewed reviewed some other Japanese books here on my channel, and this one is different. It's more of a story with some personal reflections on life. And lastly, I love that this book is so detailed because, as I said, you can feel like you are right there, like you're going through the same journey as Noriko. You can see those flowers that she describes. You can feel the taste that she describes. You can smell the rain when she describes it. You can feel like you're making this tea yourself, You can feel like you are in this Japanese house. I actually had a small tradition while reading this book because usually when I'm reading something, I'm making myself a cup of coffee, but this time I was making myself a cup of tea. I don't know why, maybe just to unite with the vibe of the book or something, to be closer to character. I have no idea why I was doing that, but it felt really nice, It felt, again, like I was there myself. And of course, I want you to understand that I did not go into all the details of the book because I truly think that you have to read it yourself. It's such a wonderful book. It makes you feel so peaceful, so present. It's so calming, especially when you make a cup of tea. I would definitely add this book into my home library because I really, really love it. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's review, and I truly hope that you will read this book yourself, and if you already did, maybe, then I would love to hear your thoughts and comments. Please don't forget to like this video and follow me here on YouTube not to miss any videos of mine in the future, and of course to support my channel. And of course, I wish you to stay more present, I wish you to be happy and to have a beautiful day today. And I will see you in the next one.